From Goodyear Heights to toy collectors everywhere.
Welcome back to Bearded and Crunchy, episode 9, Adult Money Kids Toys. So if you noticed this morning, Bob, I was a little quieter than I normally am, huh?
Yeah?
I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to wait. I was going to kind of tell you, hey, I got a surprise, but I didn't even want to tell you that.
Okay.
Obviously, we know this is a big episode. We alluded to the episode that's actually technically not dropping until tomorrow, but you'll hear about it. I was going through some of my collectibles to bring for this, and I found a couple that I feel like would have better homes with you.
Oh?
First, we're going to go with, and we'll show it to the TV. But I got that for you. I thought that was a good one.
Thank you.
I come across it. Now this next one, it's a little beat up, but
I can hear the glass breaking in my head.
Yeah. This one's a little beat up, but I feel like it will have a better home with you, and you'll know why I asked the question yesterday. So just so you guys can see, I had to bring these for you because I needed.
Nice.
I mean, like I said, that one's a little beat up, but it's still on box, and it's Carlos Baerga.
Baerga,
and it's starting lineups, and very few are gonna understand what that means. Except for our generation,
right? Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yep. Thought I'd do that before we hopped into the opening question,
yeah.
but that's why I was quiet because I was antsy. I was anxious. But yes, guys, this is the collectibles. That's killer. This is again, we talked about it a little bit. We did a little preview for you guys at the end of our last episode.
Yeah.
This is near and dear to my heart because again, once I got adult money, I got a lot of the toys that I hadn't lost or broke and didn't have when I was a kid because, you know, I have said multiple times we were poor growing up. I did have some things. I don't want people to think that like I was living in a fucking box. I had a roof over my head, and for the most part, I had food. And when my dad and mom could, they provided me with things. But I decided to be a collector. Both, you know, Vonnie and Jermaine are collectors, and you are to a certain extent. You just don't
not as much
dive into it like I did. I don't as much now because space.
Yeah.
I started getting so much shit. I was like, well, fuck, I can't put any of this stuff out. So, but as you can see, my little for you visuals out there, and for you listeners, if you go to YouTube, you can go in and see what I have displayed. This is just some of the stuff, and maybe towards the end, I'll just kind of call it out where it's from and that kind of stuff. But so on that note, a little bit of banter. How was your week, Bob?
Man. Let me tell you, it was pretty trash. Unfortunately, if you see me over here wiggling in my seat like I got, you know, itchy ass crack or something, I deal with sciatica, unfortunately, and it's back. So it's caused me to miss 2 days of work this past week because I can't sit upright in a truck, can't bend over and pick up tires. So it's been pretty miserable. So
yeah, unfortunately, between the two of us, we should have called it Bearded, Crunchy, and Sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, guys, episode 9 again. Bearded and Crunchy on all socials. Obviously, if you're watching this, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. It helps us out tremendously. So, Bob, we know what time it is. What's the opening question?
Ooh, the opening question, and actually, it was kind of based off of a little bit of your suggestion when we were talking about it this past week, because I was kind of stumped, and I actually kind of liked it. Didn't think I really tweaked it too much, but here we go. So what was the one toy that you wanted, and somehow magically you got it around Christmas time because Santa loved you?
Yeah, so... You know, I was thinking about this, and it's really crazy because we're going to go, this is going to bleed off of last week's episode because you brought it up, but I had to think about this. But I remember the morning of the Christmas that I got my Sega Genesis.
Nice.
Like I said, I got systems from time to time, but up until this point, I just had a Nintendo, and the Genesis came out in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
You know, so I went with just a Nintendo for a lot of years.
Yeah, that's all we had for years.
Yeah. The good thing was back then, though, you know, systems didn't pop up every 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It would take them a decade to make a new system.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was that, and I can still remember it was the Sonic 2 edition, and my dad got me Madden of that year, and I got Strider. Those were the 3 games that I got. Well, 2 games plus what it came with it, but that was the big one that I could remember, because I was stoked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was. I was like, holy shit! It came through.
Nice. Santa Claus. Came to town and dropped off the special package.
Did. So what about you?
I'm actually going to defer from being a kid. This actually happened when I was an adult.
Oh, shit.
And believe it or not, if my wife listens to this, she will probably crack up laughing. She actually surprised me the last, 2019? Christmas of 2019, so right before COVID, we were still staying here, basically. And we did Christmas morning with the kids and my dad downstairs, and we were kind of getting at the end of it, and my wife's like, hang on, I got something else that showed up for you. I'm like, oh, Santa came, like, all right. And it was actually kind of genius in what she did to me. It was one of the big box inside of the little box inside of the box.
Yeah.
Which I laughed at the end. She's actually got video posted of it somewhere on Facebook. And I still come across it from time to time. But that was the Christmas morning I opened up my PlayStation 4 and was like, whoa, what? Ho, ho, ho. Scratch, 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 scratch. Baby shark, doo, 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 doo. Free software inside. Sweet.
Uh-oh. So you get some free software.
Oh, it's my Tascam box. Oh, God. Oh, it's a box inside of a box.
Oh, yeah. Well,
oh, man.
That's how it goes.
Is it a box inside of a box? Oh, my God. It's fucking heavy. Oh, Jesus. Where's photo paper? Really?
I love you.
I love you too.
What you got? Let me see your penguin. Can I see your penguin? Oh, okay. Hey, heathen child. Hey, you, heathen child. Let me see your pinky. Let me see your penguin. That's a good looking penguin. Hey, Bubster. Hey, let me see your penguin. Oh, yeah. This is what I like. Torture.
Oh my God, that's so heavy.
That's the best part. That's the best part of Christmas. The torture on the side.
Oh. Dude, are you serious?
Oh, you dropped your pingy. Come here. Ugh. Here, let me see your penguin.
Wow. Holy crap. Thank you.
Let me see your penguin.
Lord, baby Jesus. That's crazy. Like, how did we... No. Like, this isn't... No.
That's awesome.
But I had wanted one for a very long time because I
Right.
had a 3 and I didn't upgrade at that point, and it was only you know, it had only been out for a few years at that point. I was like, man, I'd really like a PlayStation 4. Yeah, and somehow she managed to, I believe the story was she won it in a raffle at work.
Oh, wow.
And was like, well, I'm not going to, I'll give it to, you know.
Yeah.
At the time, not even fiance, just boyfriend at the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was kind of that's my biggest Christmas thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it counts.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool story to kind of bring up. I was like, man, that's...
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. But, yeah, that's, you know, when we were kids, man, there was, you know, we didn't have the options. I mean, we had a lot of different stuff, but, you know...
Yeah.
It was pretty much everybody, you know, every kid wanted the same toys, and
right,
you know, there wasn't as much variety. So, you know, outside of, you know, me and you saying, you know, video game system,
right,
you know, girls wanting Cabbage Patch Dolls and
yeah,
My Little Pony and Care Bears, and then, you know, with us with G.I. Joe's, Transformers, and the Ninja Turtles. And
I was never a big G.I. Joe guy, surprisingly.
I did, because I played with my toys outside a lot, and we would like bury them and try to find them. So I can almost guarantee you at my house over there,
there's probably some buried G.I. Joes.
Guarantee that Ninja
from Little
Turtles, yes,
Little E,
yeah, for sure.
I still have, surprisingly, in fact, they're sitting in a toy box in the back of my property. I still have my original big, huge metal Tonka toys.
Oh, no shit.
So they actually went through me, and then I handed them down to my nephew, and my nephew played with them when he was a little kid, and I still got them. They need, they need some work because they're old as, you know.
Yeah, I still I'm trying to think. I don't have anything from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I've bought on like eBay or seen it like Comic-Cons. Like back in 2018, me and Vonnie went to Steel City Comic-Con, which was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You'll like this one, because there was wrestlers were there for it.
Nice.
Sting was there.
Sting's,
and yeah, it was it was pretty cool. It was him, and then it was the last appearance. Check this out. This is it was the last appearance of Adam West and Burt Ward together before, because shortly after that, Burt Ward died, and then shortly after that, Adam West. But it was the last
Batman
Comic-Con
and Robin
that they were at together.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you're a big Kevin Smith fan. Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob. Brian O'Halloran was there.
Okay.
He was in Clerks. He was I'm not even supposed to be here today.
You should leave.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I know.
I actually got to meet him and talk to him, and I got his autograph. And that's
sweet.
Actually when I approached him. That was the first thing I said when I went up to him, because they have, at these Comic-Cons, they'll have different movie, and different characters, whatever. Mira Sorvino was there.
Oh.
She's tiny, by the way, but
most of them are.
Dude, I'm talking probably 5 foot. But I walked up to him and I'm like, "You're not even supposed to be here today." And dude, he just started laughing. So I broke the ice that way. That was
nice.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. So we're just guys, we do normally do like lists and stuff like that, but we started figuring out, and thanks to some advice from your sister, we're just gonna talk about our favorites, man. Like we might do like a list form if it calls for it, but we're just gonna kind of bounce off each other, tell you guys what our favorites are. So, so the first one we're gonna talk about is favorite toys as a kid.
Ooh, favorite toys.
And if I'm being honest, like I said earlier, we definitely didn't have the selection that we have that kids have today. But in the same token, there were a lot of options as well. This could go a lot of different places.
But we also took care of our stuff a lot better than kids nowadays do.
Well, and if we're being honest, they were built a lot better too.
Better, oh yeah.
Like the Transformers were die cast. Like it was, they were just built a lot better. But again, you're correct with we did take care of most of them a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just got done talking about burying some of them. In
Yeah,
my
yeah, we
backyard
did
and
that too. We did that too.
Putting them in trees and just all kinds of
Shooting them with BB guns.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Putting bottle rockets on them and stuff like that. So the first one I'm going to go to, this is one that I bring up when I talk about collectibles. I actually haven't bought any since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, I had dozens of these. And I don't see them on many of those. Do you remember these? And did you have these? And I'm going to see if you remember what they are before I show you. They're called Battle Beasts.
Battle Beasts.
And they were like maybe 2 inches tall. And they had hologram stickers on the front of them. And when you would rub them, it would be fire, wood, or water.
Okay.
And they were elemental.
Yeah, I don't think I remember those.
And so, I'm pulling them up here, guys. For the audio listeners, just bear with me. Because this is kind of a bad. No, this is good. But this is what they look like.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember
I will
those.
show you guys here. Hopefully, I'm showing you. Like I said, there were these little 2-inch fingers, and you would get them by twos.
Yeah.
Like, you know how now you can buy like single and two, and then here's the battle station pack that has 10 of them in it. You bought them by twos, and I had dozens of them, and I loved them. and I wish I still had a bunch of them because they were so cool looking. Like, there was a rhino that had like a eye patch and a hook hand, and like it was just really cool. So,
cool.
And
toys.
then another one I'll bring up, and I'll let you go to a couple because I don't know if I know you'll remember, but you might not have brought up, and I thought about them. The pop guns with the little orange singular cap things that you would slide in, and you
I had a bunch of those.
Right.
Yeah.
If you remember back in the day, the cereal aisle at grocery stores would have this little section of toys.
Yep.
And they would have strips of these, and they would have these little. And yes, they sold these in grocery stores.
Yeah, you'd probably get shot for that shit now.
There's no way they would let you get away with that. But they were, and they would. It was basically just sulfur.
Yeah.
But it would pop, and it would sound like it was. We called them cap guns.
Yeah, cap guns. Yep.
And it sounded like the little poppers that you would throw down on the ground and pop, and it would make a little smoke and
do you remember they had the strip ones, but they also had the red circular ones?
That's the ones I was talking about, because it would be like a revolver.
Yeah. I had one like that. In fact, mine was like a knockoff Transformer cap gun.
So that's cool.
Man, I was like, going into this episode, I'm like, I don't want to talk about toys. I don't.
Bro.
And then we're talking, and
I'm starting
to.
When I said I collect, dude, this is just a minor. Like, I don't slip on anything. Like, we'll get into talking. I'll bring up some of the things in my in my collection, that I didn't have in a list that I just thought were odd, or cool or whatever. But again, go ahead, give us a couple of yours.
And I'm gonna start off my things. I loved and still love Legos. I'm a Lego guy. I
have it marked down, but I tried to save, because this is more me. I saved the niche ones for me, and the big hitters that I think you would say, and I'm gonna let you get those, because again, this is more my wheelhouse as opposed to. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I loved Legos as a kid growing up. I started off really young with them. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old when I had like a box of them.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when we were kids, they didn't really have the Star Wars sets and the Avengers. You would get these
bricks,
big like containers that looked like a big brick itself. It was a big, and it would just have different shapes and colors, and you would just build.
I had a red case. It looked like a briefcase.
Oh, that's cool.
And you would open them up, and the locking pieces on them actually had like where you could put bricks on them too. But yeah, man, I played with Legos up until my nephew was smaller and was able to finally get into them, and then I handed all of them off to him. And
as you know, I still build the sets.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into now.
Fun fact, I say that a lot. I've noticed that, but get used to it.
Yeah.
This morning, as you guys know, well, as you guys don't know, but you'll know now, today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the Father's Day out there. We deserve our days just as much as mothers. But anyways, you know, Rhiannon and Ty were kind enough to give us this as an early Father's Day gift. But this morning, I did come home after breakfast with Ty to find out that my power is out. But they got me 2 more sets. They got me another helmet, and then they got me a Darth Vader bust.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to get into those, so I'm thankful. So yeah, Legos are still a part of me too, and Ty jumped right into it. Like,
nice.
I always felt that, like, even though they're a toy, it instills that creative side into you. I'll give you a crazy thing. When I was a kid, I had epilepsy when I was in like 2nd grade. I actually had a seizure, and I had to go to the hospital for a little while. I had to have EKGs for years. Yeah, I eventually grew out of them, so they say. Which kind of goes back to the Meniere's. I kind of did a deep dive into that, wondering if maybe that was correlated. It's not.
Oh, wow.
But I actually built, you know, I'm a big Pink Floyd fan.
Oh, yeah.
I actually built a version of the wall that they do at the concerts.
Okay.
Where it's just a big wall, and then I had 4 clear pieces to be like a little window where he would sit on the wall.
Nice.
To show. Yeah, it just, you know, little shit like that.
Did you get a chance to go to the Rock Hall when they had that set piece up there? Dude, it was awesome.
I have yet to be to the Rock Hall, man. I want to go. I know you had went recently because you got me my Run DMC shirt. Yeah. And I still wear that religiously.
I think if you go once.
No, I definitely want to go. There's many things there that I want to see.
Oh yeah.
As a music fan, I feel like, I mean, it's a rite of passage. You kind of have to go at least once.
It's worth doing once.
Absolutely.
After that, though, it's kind of like any other museum, unless you're really, really into it. It's like,
I'm going to jump into a couple here now. So these were ones that I only had a couple of, but they were cool. Do you remember Mad Balls?
Yes.
Mad Balls, guys, I will, for the visuals, when I edit it, I'll throw them up on the screen. But they were like baseballs. They even made a couple of football-shaped ones. But they were just ugly-faced creatures, but they were toy balls. You could play baseball, you could play catch, but they had faces and gross things on them. We had a ton of those, like between the kids in the neighborhood. Like I had a few, you know, a couple kids down the road had them and stuff. That was a big one. And then this is one that it may not surprise you. It may. I think if my memory serves me right, my grandma bought me this for Christmas when I was a kid, but I had a Light Bright.
Oh yeah, we did too. Those
Light
were
Brights
cool, man.
were the shit.
Yeah, they were cool.
Again,
shit.
Another thing for the audio people, I'll throw that up.
Yep.
It was like this little like projection TV screen, and it had these pegs that were different colors.
Yep.
And it had a sheet that would lock into it, and it would have shapes. It was like a stencil for it, and you would poke it. And when you poke it, it would light up different colors because it was a specific light, and it would make a picture.
Right.
And it was so much fun. It got to the point where, you know, one thing that I've noticed, you know, this is going a little off topic, but it's going to tie in. I don't have an addictive personality. I have an excessive personality. So when I get something, I do it all right then. Yeah. So I would get kits that would have like 12, 15 sheets in it, and I would finish that in an afternoon.
Yeah.
And then be bored with it. So my dad was smart, and he went out and got me a big stack of just black, because it was black, because it had to block out the light, of just black construction paper.
And just let you...
And I would just...
Nice.
And so I got to the point where I started doing that, which goes to what we said a couple episodes ago, where... You know, I wish I would have realized like how much I was reaching for something creative in my life and walked away from it, because I was always looking to make or create something. But yeah, so that Light Bright was one. What's let's see what's a couple more.
A couple more of mine. You know, and I got lucky. You know, we've talked about this before with our parents. The kind of difference of how even though we grew up in the same neighborhood, it was a different, I don't want to say class, but
a financial background.
Yeah, a different financial thing. And where you didn't have, I had a lot, you know, and growing up, I was around that time, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were awesome. It was all over TV, you know, and I had a ton of action figures. I had the Blimp. That was one of my favorites.
For the Ninja Turtles, man, I had a
Yeah.
lot of the action figures, but I never had I didn't have the blimp.
Yeah.
There's a subject we're gonna get to later
Yeah.
that I throw something
Yep.
on there about. So yeah.
Yeah,
But they were. I feel like that was the big thing. Like, you know, and not to disrespect the girls, but they always made like plushes and stuff for them. We had the
Right.
coolest shit in the
We
80s.
did.
You know.
I can say though that I got lucky with my sister because I'm only about 2.5 years older than her. And when we were growing up, we would, hang out in each other's rooms and we would play with, our toys together. And, she would build stuff with me with Legos and we would, kick each other's asses with Ninja Turtles and Transformers. But then in return, I would be expected to go hang out with her and play
Tea
Barbies.
parties.
No, she loved Barbies.
I just figured that
Yeah.
or like a tea party.
But I was a bastard, and I was probably just a screwed up kid at the time. But I would have them in the car, Barbie and Ken, and just drive them off the cliff to their doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We were boys. That's the
Right.
type of shit that we.
it was like die.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna pop into a couple of the more mainstream ones that I'm sure are on your list and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You said you didn't really have GI Joes. Again, I did
didn't.
because of the articulation in them,
Yeah.
and the fact they were like 3¼ inch. So
Right.
like you could have a bunch of them. Like, some of the other ones, like I'm gonna bring up like the Transformers and the Thundercats and
Mhm.
He-Man. They were like 6 inch, 4 to 6
Oh, yeah.
inch figures. So, you didn't get as many of them. Same with the Ninja
Exactly.
Turtles. But onto that vein, I had them too. I even, I talked about my brother. Like he
Mhm.
would put on Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Thundercats, and He-Man
Mhm.
for me to watch.
Oh yeah.
But the one year for my birthday when he was watching me, he took me to Toys R Us and bought me like 3 or
Nice.
4 Ninja Turtles. And I don't know if you remember this, but they did a line. They started in the early 90s. They really started branching out.
Mhm.
And they were given, they were given like Carpenter, Michelangelo, or whatever. But they had a music one
Yeah.
where Michelangelo had turntables
Oh yeah.
and like
yeah,
around
yeah.
him, and I forget which one of them had a guitar, but I had a couple of those.
Sweet.
And then I had some of the offshoots, like I had Mondo Gecko, I had Casey
Okay.
Jones.
Yeah, Casey.
some
I
of
never had a
those-
Casey Jones.
I had a Casey
like,
Jones.
damn
I had
it.
a Casey Jones.
I had a Splinter. I had a
See,
Master
I never
Splinter.
had Splinter.
Yeah.
But I did have all the, and I mean the original ones that had the like brown belts.
Yeah.
They came with the ninja stars.
Yep.
Like all of their weapons were like brown colored, like
Mhm.
the nunchucks, the bow, and all of that. So,
It was also one of my favorite cartoons.
absolutely.
I mentioned it a couple episodes ago.
Yes, yeah, of course. And they even went on to good movies. Even the
Yeah.
most recent 2 movies,
I never saw them.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
no, you're gonna love them.
They're the Michael Bay ones, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles is made for that. And again, it's one of those where I talked about Masters of the Universe. It doesn't
Yeah.
take itself too serious. There's some. I will next week. I'll bring because you have a PS4. You
Yeah.
can watch them on that. I will look through my DVDs or my Blu-rays, and I will let you get them. Trust me, you'll be glad you watched them.
Okay.
They're definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
But what do you say we jump into our next topic? Unless you had something else you wanted to bring up in some of the toys that you had that you wanted to talk about.
As I'm struggling with my fucking mic stand, goddamn piece of. Never mind.
You're like me, you're a perfectionist.
I always am, and I'm antsy because my back hurts
yeah,
because life sucks and then you die.
yeah. And in between, you get old and crotchety
Right.
and crunchy.
The only thing I was going to talk about that I have to remind me of because of my age, and we talked a little bit the other day with Thundercats. We both love Thundercats. We love the cartoon. You have your shirt on. You have a tattoo. But I had a Thundercats lair that I loved it. I got it for Christmas one year along with Mumra's tomb.
Oh,
Which-
I'm over here as a jealous
I know.
kid. Like,
I know. Well, I can tell you the story on what happened with it here in a second, but so I had Cat Slayer, I had Mummer's Tomb, I had the what was it called? The cutter, the sky cutter thing.
yeah.
But it worked with Cat Slayer where you could shoot back and forth with each other through like the almost like a Nintendo Zapper signal.
Yeah.
And my Cat's Lair, you could hear it click, and when you got down to like low health, basically, it would send a warning signal, and then it would like pop the doors open, so you could
Oh, that's kind of cool.
breach the castle, so to speak. But yeah, it was a cool toy, and I had a lot of the Thundercats action figures as well.
I actually had a Lion-O that it had this like
red.
Yeah, and it had the metal
ring
tip.
Yeah, and his eyes would light up. Yep, I had the same one.
Yeah, I had that, and that was one of the cooler ones that I had. I had him. I had Mumra. I had Panthro.
Okay.
Chitara. Snarf. I actually still have the Snarf that you gave me as well.
Snarf.
And I had Jackal, who was like the
Jackalman.
Jackalman. I had him. And that was it out of all of those. I never had Jaga.
I never
had Tigra. I actually have Tigra now, but it's the re-release
I had
that they did like 20 years ago.
I had a Lion-O, a Tigra, a Panthro, Chitara. I had Wily Kit and Wily Cat, Snarf, and then I had Mumra. I had Slithe.
That's the one I was thinking. Not I know who Jackalman is, but I had Slithe.
Well, I had Jackalman, I had Vultureman, I had Monkeyin.
I have Monkeyin again in a re-release that I have.
Oh, nice.
I actually have him on my wall. To touch on that, I didn't have that, but the one like castle type thing I did have, and I didn't have Castle Grayskull, but I did have Snake Mountain.
Okay.
But that one was cool because it came with this little snake head.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we were kids, we had the microphones that had the little vibrating thing in it that would do that, and you could like talk.
Oh, that's
like
sweet.
Skeletor. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But even that I got from a yard sale. But I didn't care because I had it. Like as a kid, like I was just glad I had that shit.
Yeah, I guess that kind of brings me into my next question for you. Which toys did you have as a kid that you wish you still had now?
My Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
I had the original released Millennium Falcon.
Oh, nice.
That a buddy of mine, Ethan, who lived up the street from me, if he ever hears this, shout out Ethan. I traded some of my sports cards, which we'll get into that in a little bit, for this Millennium Falcon because, when I started collecting cards, I was still young enough that toys were still, important for me. So, and it was the original, like it wasn't a complete, there was a couple of pieces missing, but it was the original Millennium Falcon. But that's that in all of the original Ninja Turtles that I had, because that was the one action figure that like was a little bit more like G.I. Joes were smaller. The Battle Beasts, I said I had a dozen of those, but they were only like $2 or $3 for two of them. Whereas Ninja Turtles were $7-8 back then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, you didn't get as many. But yeah, those are probably two of the ones that popped in my head the most as I thought about that.
It makes you sad thinking about it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I got a couple others that I'm going to bring up that you're not going to be ready for, but I wanted you to get a couple in before I brought them up.
Man, the ones I wish I had back, and I literally just referenced them, but here's the story on what happened with them. We had a house fire here in 2004, and unfortunately my dad, my sister, my nephew, they basically lost 90% of their stuff. And what I had went into storage, and unfortunately some of my stuff didn't come back from storage.
Oh no.
So that was my Cat's Lair, my Momura's Tomb, a couple other things. And if you look that stuff up now, that particular Cat's Lair I had's worth like $400 or $500, $600.
If you get it in box, it's worth thousands.
Yeah. Well, I didn't save boxes back
then. No. 95%. Guys, when I say I collect. I know inbox, I know roughly used, like I've been collecting for years. Mm-hmm. You can still find certain things that, well played with that are still worth, you said, in the condition you had it, you could easily get $500 for. And with the boom that's going right now with Masters of the Universe and all these other ones, this is when that price really starts to escalate.
Right. Now, like I said, those two things, all the action figures I wish I still had back, and then most of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff I wish I still had, because that stuff was cool, man.
Oh,
They don't make that stuff like that anymore.
No, it's definitely... It's they don't make toys to be played with anymore. They make
Right.
them to be collected.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, they were made to be played with.
Man, we played the shit out of
Yeah.
our toys.
I'm gonna bring up two real quick. That the second one I think is really gonna blow your mind, but the first one is, and I'm gonna tell a funny story about it. And that's I always bring this up when I talk about these things. But My Pet Monster.
Okay.
These were plush dolls that had chains on it, and it could break the chain. And you remember it, right?
I do.
I never got one. I got the hand puppet version that didn't come with cuffs.
Bummer.
Yeah. That was a really cool toy that we had. It was kind of a toy company's way of saying fuck you when they were making Care Bears and Rainbow Bright and all that stuff. But the next one was something I'm pretty sure you had, and I don't see talked about and brought up with nostalgia as much, but I had quite a few, and that's Micro Machines.
Oh, I did have a bunch of Micro Machines.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I loved Micro Machines. You could get them in big packs. You could get them individually, and then they had these little like squares that you could put together. And it was, that was one that I wish I still had.
Do you remember the commercials with the guy that like,
the Scat Man?
He's still alive.
Yep, and he could still talk that fast. Too.
Yeah, he's in his 70s.
Yeah.
I just remember the commercials.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
But I had the little Micro Machines that you could put like the pennies in the back of them to weigh them
those
down.
were called penny racers.
Yeah, they were cool, man.
Yeah, those were cool too.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. All right. So I guess now we'll go into a couple of the toys that we wanted and never really got. I got a couple of these that
me too.
that always escaped me that I didn't get.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go ahead and go first.
The one thing I always wanted, because I was a huge Thundercats fan and like I just said, had all that stuff, I never got a goddamn Thunder Tank.
Yeah, I never had a Thunder Tank neither.
Yeah.
That thing was cool because I remember the arms would open up
and the
it
back.
and then the arms would open up and it would shoot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I never had
Yeah,
that either.
that always pissed me off as a kid because I was like, I got all this other cool shit, and I always wanted the Thunder Tank. And nope, sorry, kid.
That's the one. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. We were always thankful. But
of course.
If you were once a kid and didn't get something you wanted, you knew the letdown of that as a kid.
Major letdown.
I'm gonna go Turtle Van for my. I out of all the toys my entire childhood, that's the one that I kept asking for, and especially the one that had the pizza shooter.
Yeah,
I wanted that so bad, and I don't know. I mean, I still to this, I don't remember what the reason was. If I got something else that I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just know that
you
I
didn't
wanted
get your
that
Turtle
for
Van.
a couple.
I didn't
was
either.
Devastated, yeah.
And I wanted it too, and I didn't.
And the only other one I have wrote down is something we were talking about. Even though I had Snake Mountain, I wanted Castle Grayskull because we always wanted to be the good guy in most cases.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's all I had. The Thunder Tank and Turtle Van. I didn't have much else that I could really think of at that point where I'm like, eh. But yeah, no, the Turtle Van pissed me off too because I had friends that had it. And I'm like,
I know. And it was so cool.
I do have one now that I'm thinking about it. I always wanted the the Ghostbuster backpacks.
Oh, the Proton packs.
Yeah, the Proton. I never got one. I had friends that had them, and I was like, God damn it.
Me and Rhiannon found one and bought it for Vonnie because he's a big Ghostbusters fan. They had him at Spirit Halloween. They had like it wasn't like part of a costume. It was an actual like prop.
Right.
But it wasn't the original one, like that. Like I know the one you're talking about because it also had the thing that you could slide and yeah, that was.
Because toys
Speaking
were cool.
of that, I have the Ecto one.
I saw that.
I have the Ecto one here with Winston. So, all right. I guess we'll start. We'll go into the one that Bob has a little more. I would say probably collected more of. I guess is where we could go with, and that's comics and sport cards and the like. I guess I could have texted you this. I don't know if you collected them, but we could go like because Marvel actually had a big run with cards in the mid '90s and hologram cards and
they were. I've seen them. They were cool.
I actually own some of them.
Nice.
I looked for them to bring them. I actually have a complete set of in 1995. They released a 1 series set of Mortal Kombat cards, and I I think about 10 years ago, I found the full set on sale on eBay
No
for
kidding.
like $15 and I bought it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
a
said,
steal.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
buying that
steal.
shit.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
This is a visual thing. So this is an OG Trapper Keeper from when I was in high school.
Look them up, guys. Google them. They
Yep.
were,
It's a mess because it's,
it's
40 years
almost
old.
40 years old.
Well,
If
30
not
years
40 years old. Oh, yeah, probably 30 years old.
But I have a lot of my then Cleveland Indians
Yep.
stuff as my page is falling apart because it's
Yep.
old. But I know they're the Guardians now, but when we were kids,
Up
they were
till
the Cleveland
4 or 5
Indians.
years ago, they've been the Indians.
yeah. So obviously we suffered through some really shitty baseball teams in the 80s
Boy,
and
did we.
early 90s.
Yep. But yeah, I got some of my. I'll scoot this back so you can
Yeah.
see. I have my He-Man Thundercats.
That's cool, man.
First one, DC did it
Yeah.
issue, and then I have the Killing Joke, the graphic novel.
Mm.
I used to have. I've told this story a little bit. I used to have a pretty decent comic book
Yeah, me
and
too.
card collection, but when I lived in the Falls, when me and Rhiannon started dating, apparently there was black mold in the house, and before I moved in,
no.
instead of handling it, I guess they just painted
Painted
the
over
walls.
it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then it was probably about 4 or 5 months before I was getting ready to move out. I go down and I'm like, man, why is it's so damp down here? So
Yeah.
I got a dehumidifier and it wasn't doing anything. And then eventually one day I go down there and all of my cards got this black shit on
Yeah.
it. And I was like, what
No
the fuck?
bueno.
And then, yeah, that's when we had to, I had to throw a lot of that shit out, and that was rough.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I
would've
still
been
have
mad.
a decent amount of my cards. I still have my Shaquille O'Neals. I have about
Nice.
40, 50 Shaquille O'Neals.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Shaquille O'Neal,
The-
he's
the
my
pop.
favorite basketball player. But yeah, and I still have a few comic books.
Me too.
I actually just about a week ago, my buddy Vonnie, he moved to Arizona. That's where his aunt and his stepmom and his cousins and stuff live. and
Okay.
his uncle. He's recently. I know you've seen the guys that they auction off stuff live
Yeah.
on streams and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
His little cousin and his cousin's friend, they do that, and he started to get into it. And
Yeah.
they did an auction on Whatnot, and I bought a couple of comic books off of them. I got a Superman Man of Steel #1.
Ooh, nice.
I got this special edition Fantastic Four that's completely like matte cream white cover. Like,
oh wow.
all it is, it's like a raised,
Yeah.
and I got a couple of comics off of him. But yeah, I actually at one point, man, I had an insane
Mm-hmm.
sports card collection that had, I mean,
A lot.
Oh man, I had so much, and just from the years of moving, it either got stolen or I left
Ruined.
it somewhere or ruined. And unfortunately, I still have a little bit of it, but only a fraction of
Yeah.
what I
That-
used to have.
That's all I have left is in my Trapper Keeper. It's like 9-10 pages of cards that they've meant something to me because they're either ball players I grew up enjoying, watching play ball. Mostly Indians, Cleveland Indians.
Right.
There's some other ones like some MVPs like Cal Ripken Jr. and Barry Bonds and stuff like that. But that's all I have left, and I too used to have a nice comic book collection. I loved X-Men.
Yeah.
So I actually had, believe it or not, the complete Phoenix Saga
Oh wow.
comic book. Yeah, comic books.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a 3-part
Yeah.
comic
The
book.
Phoenix Saga was. It's funny you should mention that because you want to know one of the ones I bought was the first entrance of Bishop.
Okay.
He's my favorite X-Men character.
Nice.
And they had that one up for sale. It was his first ever
Yeah.
introduction to X-Men, and I bought that because I too, I loved the X-Men comics and the Marvel the X-Men cards that they came out with, and
Well, I used to steal my dad's because my dad is old as fuck now, but he had a bunch from when he was a kid. But he literally had, and I wish a lot of that stuff wouldn't have got destroyed in the fire. But he literally had like a Spider-Man #1.
Oh, wow.
He had a Fantastic Four #1. You know, things like that I would read and go, oh, this is how it all started. Like, this is awesome. But it's all gone. And, you know, that...
I'm going to tell a quick story here. I don't think he'll mind, but so, you know, Vonnie, he worked at Dicom with us, but he's been my friend for
a long time.
Over 25 years now. When he went to move to Arizona, he was a big collector too.
Yeah.
Like he had 3 or 4 like when they really started like getting into the real life looking lightsabers, the two he had like 3 or 4 of those.
I would love to have one of those.
Like he had a really nice collection. He hired some movers to help him move when he went down there. And unfortunately, the truck that had his collectibles and a lot of his pictures from his family's past got lost.
Of course it did.
And he lost a lot of his stuff. So
I would kill somebody.
He was, you know, he's the type that would get angry, but I remember talking to him when he told me about it. You could just hear the defeat, you know, in his voice. I'm going to bring up something real quick that, you know, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I can't think of something, I'll Google something. You know,
of course.
I Googled like nostalgia 80s and 90s toys, and I did cards, and I know you had them. I had them. Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which... Talking about Vonnie, he always makes fun of me because one of my favorite worst movies of all time, if you remember, they made a Garbage Pail Kids movie.
And it was terrible.
And it's awful. And I will still go watch it any chance I get. But yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up. Yeah, comics. They did a series, if you remember, back in 99 called, it was like Spider-Man and all these. It was 2099. It was going to be the future.
Yep.
I had the first Spider-Man one of that. I had the first. I wish I did. They did a holographic cover for Ghost Rider 2099. Ooh. I was a big Ghost Rider comic book
fan. Yeah, I like
fan.
Ghost Rider.
So, you know, I had a big collection. Now it's more so comic books or graphic novels.
Yeah.
And I've started getting into manga, which is just Japanese comic books. Yeah, yesterday I actually went to Lakewood. Sunny wanted me to take me out, and she bought me a decent amount. She got me volume 1, 2, and 3 of Solo Leveling. I talked about that.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And then she got me, there's a 11-part series of Legend of Zelda, The Twilight Princess. She got me the first one of that. And then years and years ago, she got me the full Ocarina of Time manga.
Oh, wow.
And yesterday, I got the Four Swords Adventures one. I got all of that.
That's
awesome. She bought me all of that. So I still collect that stuff. Again, I collect more vinyls and graphic novels because they're a little easier to store nowadays than some of the stuff you guys see here.
That's the unfortunate part of it all. Is like you start running out of space because then you get so much. And you're like,
George Carlin made that. He goes, "Isn't our homes just a place for our stuff? And when we run out of room for our stuff, we just get a bigger house to put more stuff." And he's right.
He's not wrong.
No,
he's not wrong at all. That's a fact.
Well, I guess, you know, is there anything you want to talk about? I mean, I'll go over just a few other of these things and talk about my collection a little bit further, and then we can wrap it up. But is there anything else? I mean, again, I know the collectibles is kind of more my wheelhouse.
That is yours, sir.
Yeah. But
actually, I do have a question.
Yeah,
for you.
Sure, absolutely.
I do have a question for you. Is there anything that you've been looking at, like from when you were a kid, that you'd like to, like maybe that you've been looking at to purchase here recently, or have thought
that's a good question.
About purchasing recently to add to your massive collection?
Actually, yeah, there was. A couple weeks ago, you know, our phones are always listening.
Oh, yeah.
So TikTok popped up with this throwback. It must have been because I went to see He-Man.
Probably. Heard the movie.
But
Send him all the He-Man stuff.
Yeah, and then I was also, like I said, Vonnie's been doing that auction stuff, so I've been looking at comics, but Marvel did a comic book series on Thundercats.
Okay.
And I went to look up. I had the very first one. It was a collector's edition.
Ooh.
It was one of the ones that got ruined.
Damn.
In the falls.
Yeah.
And I was looking it up, but then it led me to finding the Lion-O we were talking about.
Okay.
And I started really, and I said, you know what? I said, I got a lot of the remakes and stuff like that.
You want an original.
But I'd really like to go back and find an original on card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not loose, because you can find a lot of loose ones, but I want to get, like, one that's still, intact.
Yeah.
What about you? I figure since you brought it up, there might be something that was on your mind that you might have been, like, casually seeing that you might be like, man, if I had it, I'd like to swoop that up.
Honestly, not so much like past stuff, but I would love, and they're like $1,000, but I would love to have the Millennium Falcon from Lego. Yeah. It's like 30,000 pieces or whatever. I don't care. I would hole myself up in my office and just build the damn thing, and everybody could.
You would be surprised at how fast
it does. It goes
like. Yeah. Like I said, if I sat down with because I got the helmets, and for you guys watching, they're about this big, but only the helmet's up to about here. Right. It's on a little stand. I mean, honestly, if I sat there and did it, I could do it in 2.5 hours. Yeah. It doesn't take as long as you think. And that's the problem I have is they're so fucking expensive.
I know.
But the ones that take the time are going to be $300, $400, $500, up into $1,000, $1,200. And it's like,
I can't justify that.
Yeah, unfortunately, my helmets are $60, $70. Yeah. And again, they're only like this big. So
that's crazy. They didn't used to be that expensive.
No,
that's the thing.
No.
And now they're just, it's just fucking plastic, man.
Yeah, it's because they're pretty much the only ones that do it. Yeah, nobody's ever been able to really reproduce what they make. So
it's all the licensing too for all the stuff that they're doing. I get it.
Before we head out, I'll give a little deep dive into my collection real quick. This is a remake. I actually have. It's my Gizmo. This one still does the song when he's playing the piano when he's up in the attic and Gizmo starts nice. He starts singing along with the tunes of the keyboard. I actually had the original one from when it came out. There was a really cool toy store actually around us. It's out in Canal Fulton. Okay. It's called Toys Time Forgot.
Yeah.
One day I'll take you out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome.
But I got this there, but I had the original. I don't know what happened to it, but and as you guys can also see, I'm gonna move this for a second, but the child and this and then the Ecto One. When Pop Vinyls first came out on the scene, I believe it was 2010 or 2012, around there. I really started noticing when we went to Myrtle Beach in 2014. Ty wasn't even a year old. He was like 11 months old.
Oh, wow.
And we went to Myrtle Beach. And I got my first couple there, and I got the Lion-O.
Oh, nice.
And it was from 2014. And I'm at, I believe, 341 Pop Vinyls.
No shit.
And that's including like these big pop rides. I have some of the ones that came with a comic book and a figure. Like I have a bunch of different ones. I have some minis. But I got big into collecting those. And for a time, I actually have a couple of the LeBron ones from Cleveland.
No kidding.
There was a time when those were worth $200-$300 a piece.
Wow.
Because it's gotten so, the market's gotten
saturated.
So watered down and saturated.
That stinks.
They dropped, like that Lion-O at one time was worth $750.
Shit.
It's only worth like $175.
Wow.
The LeBrons all dipped under $100. Yeah. So I kind of quit, they're not huge, but, if you collect enough of these, they take up a lot of space. Yeah. So that's a big part of my collection. But this was one I brought because there was this line of these Marvel toys that had these special, they were all like action based, like they could do something. And there was a Spider-Man one, but I brought these because I collected these when these came out. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I found this guy who was selling a bunch of these on this like auction type site for like kidding. $7-8 a piece. And they were going for like 15, 16 bucks on eBay. So I bought a couple of them.
Hell yeah.
But these were ones that I collected and played with.
Yeah, those are cool, man.
When I was a kid. So that was one. And then I brought this because this was kind of like our starting lineups. If you see, I know you know, this is McFarlane Toys. Yeah. Todd McFarlane created Spawn. He created his own comic book, like literal production, like produce. But starting lineup started. That's what I gave you earlier. But I wanted to bring these just to show you that like I collect everything. And this is my Jerome Bettis.
Nice, being a Steelers fan that you are.
Of course. But little shorter episode, guys. But I think we can cut it short on that. Again, this was going to be a little heavier me than Bob because even though he likes things and he's collected things in the past, he definitely didn't dive back into it the way I did.
No.
But kudos to him for for letting me get my happiness out in this episode.
Gotta indulge the the sweet tooth every once in a while, you know.
And I'm appreciative. Maybe if I can figure out a way, I have a little video saved in my phone that shows a brief, maybe until about. tenth of my collection that I used to have displayed. Maybe I'll throw it up in the video clip and YouTube it just to show people kind of see. Because the one thing I couldn't find that I wanted to bring is Rhiannon a few years ago. Real quick before we get to the end of this, she got me these 24 karat gold-plated Star Wars cards.
No shit.
Bro, when I tell you these are some of the... I've never seen anything like these. I wanted to bring them in to show you, but I show them in that video, but... yeah, maybe I'll pop those up in a couple of videos if I can find... Or videos, a couple of photos of some of the stuff that I collected, but...
That would be cool to see. I've never seen those.
I've like I said, I've got a big collection. I've got boxes and totes everywhere full of shit. But
right.
But guys, you know if it's the end of the episode, what time it is.
It's time for a dad joke.
That's right.
So why did the Lego set go to therapy?
I don't know.
Oh, I got you again, didn't I?
Yeah, I thought for a second I had it, and then it didn't make sense, and I was like, no, don't make yourself look like an idiot.
Because it was having trouble fitting the pieces together.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.